Welcome back, learners. In the subject of sales and distribution management, today the topic of discussion for this lecture which is lecture number 17, is methods of Salesforce motivation and evaluation of Salesforce performance. Student, in earlier lecture we have seen the meaning of motivation and we talk about the importance of motivation. Why in selling motivation is so important, that we have seen in earlier lecture. So we have seen that motivation is the force within an individual that will direct their behavior. So motivation is very unique to every individual that we have seen. In this lecture, we are going to talk about the various methods of Salesforce motivation in detail, and next to that, we are going to talk about the evaluation of Salesforce performances. So just get started. So student, as we can see, there are various methods of Salesforce motivation. So among that, we are going to discuss all these one. So we will start with the first method, that is sales contest. Now students, a sales contest is a competition among salesperson wherein by maximizing their efforts we are trying to boost our sales, and ultimately that will help us to earn more profits. The aim of this contest is to encourage the sales and to develop a team spirit, boosting the morale of the sales force, encouraging them to work hard. Uh, we can Through sales contest we can move the items towards the speed. We can overcome the depression period within an organization. So the successful salesman at the sale contest, he will back for the prizes, which can be cash or the incentive or the merit certificate, or it can be free travel also. So the next we have is incentive. An incentive is any factor which can be financial or the non-financial one that will enable or motivate a particular course of action within your sales force. So an incentive program is a formal scheme where organization used to promote or encourage specific actions or behavior by a specific group of people during a defined period of time. So incentive programs are particularly used in business management to motivate the employees, and in sales in order to attract and retain your customers. Next you have is bonus. So the word bonus refers to the extra pay due to good performance within salespeople. So salespeople performance can be increased by providing them bonus so that they can remain committed to their works continually. Next you have is sales meeting. So this is a group motivation. Basically all employees meet at a place. So everyone meets and contact fellow workers. They exchange their ideas. They exchange their excellence in selling area. So problems are solved and new policies are developed in the sales meeting. So sales meeting provides an opportunity to the sales personnel working at different levels within an organization. So they come together and exchange their experiences, ideas, and they solve their sales related problems. In sales meeting, the sales personnel exchange information, ideas, and their viewpoints. So it is a type of business meeting, and such meetings are arranged periodically. Most of the time, organization arrange this sales meeting on annual basis, wherein all the sales people come together. They do have a get together kind of thing for 3-4 days, and they do exchange their ideas and experiences. Next you have is recognition and honor. So recognition and honor, like its titles such as the salesperson for the month, or employee for the month, or Superman of the year, or the medal trophy, or greetings, appreciation letters, etc. So all those recognition or honors greatly encourage the salesman to do more hard work. This recognition and honors satisfy a salesman greatly. Next you have is personal weight. So here we are talking about the performance of the salespeople can be known as from their reports, right? So further to have more effect on the sales, salesmen may be facilitated to meet the particular sale top performer sales manager in finding solution to their typical problems. So the sales manager gives a satisfactory solution to the one's problem and discusses them to arrive at a satisfactory solution. So this type of personal meet is very good for salesman encouragement. Next you have is promotion. So by considering the abilities as well as the experiences, the salesmen are promoted to the higher post on a higher salary. Thereby, when the status increases, self-respect increases, remuneration increases, and naturally it is the best motivation on the part of salesperson. So further promotion is again aimed through harder work, and that salesman does understand this thing. Next you have is personal communication. So it is always good for the sales manager to write personal letters to the salesman who is performing very well in his work. So there will be two-way flow of ideas and facts, opinions, or the feelings. So those will be taking good shape in terms of goodwill and developing a high morale apart from the confidence and the cooperation between the salesmen. Next you have is freedom. So in performing the job of the salespeople, he should not be controlled at a higher degree, because it is very necessary that salesman be given a reasonable degree of freedom in doing his particular assigned job. The salesman should be permitted to do his job in his own pattern. So frequent calling of for reports should be avoided in case of selling. So such things will create good stimulus and generate a feeling that a salesman job is very important in the firm, which is the fact. So when the sales manager gives more responsibility to the salesman, the better will be the result, and that is why freedom is always a wise choice. Next you have is timely information. So whenever any new product introduced or the policy change, a new technique is adopted, and the salesman concern, which is a matter of pride for him. So some of the big firms publish magazines and bulletins which are meant for the sales personnel, and it will contain all the latest information. So when the salesman is kept informed about all the changes which is happening around the organization, it will act as a he can be act as a latest salesman who knows about the prices, promotion, or the quality, guarantee period, sales after services, all those knowledge. So he can be improved with the timely information. Next you have is compensation. So compensation is most widely used method of motivating a sales force. So it is a key to changing a sales people behavior. So a well formulated compensation plan will not only help the sales force to direct selling activities and achieve sales objective, but also it influences the effective implementation of organization marketing campaign. So that will help them to further salespeople to motivate themselves. The next part which we are going to discuss is evaluation of Salesforce performance. So next we have for methods of evaluating Salesforce performance is there are four basic methods. The essays, rating scales, forced choice method, and the last one we have is ranking. So in essay, this is the simplest of all the methods of Salesforce evaluation. In this method, the sales manager describes the performance of the salesperson in a few paragraphs. So he mentions the details about the individual potential, strength, weaknesses, and other relevant matter in the essay. So the basis for using this method is assumption that a written or the word of mouth statement is as reliable as any other formal evaluation methods. So organization make use of essay appraisal form for former employers or the colleagues while recruiting a particular sales personnel. So next we have is rating scales. So in this method, the performance evaluation, which is the most widely used, the salesperson manager identifies the certain specific personality traits and behavioral factors, or it may be performance related. So the personnel are evaluated based on the extent on which they exhibit their desired behavior or the extent to which they meet the desired performance criteria. The advantage of this method is that it helps to identify the areas where the salesperson has to improve or to maintain the desired level of performances. The disadvantage of this method is the most recent behavior of Salesforce is considered without looking at the salesperson's past behavior or the behavior of particular period of time, which is the disadvantage. The next we have is forced choice method. So forced choice rating is a method of rating that helps in comparing the sales personnel by creating standard for measuring sales force performances. So in this method, the sales manager is asked to go through groups of statement and select those which best explain the individual. So usually within a group, both or all the statements are either positive or negative. The rater is a rater forced to choose that describe the salesperson best from a group of all the positive and a group of all negative statement. So each statement has given weights that evaluator is not aware at the time of taking that form. The form is evaluated by the personal department and the salesperson with the maximum score is rated the highest. The next we have is ranking method. So the method of performance evaluation is useful. This ranking method is very useful when the sales personnel in the entire sales force working in a different areas have to be compared. So all the sales personnel are placed in order beginning with the top performer. This is very useful where essay, rating scales or the other forms, result forms are not to be use. So ranking is preferred when sales personnel from different operating areas have to be evaluated for the promotion or for the increase in their compensation. So in such conditions, a subjective approach rather than the objective one is oftenly prioritized. So alternation ranking and the paired comparison ranking are the most commonly used ranking methods in the selling force evaluation. So in evaluation also we can take the what can I say? So in evaluation process which leads to the compensation of which helps to decide the compensation for Salesforce, which is our next topic of discussion. In evaluation of Salesforce, again there will be various process where you can manager set a standard of performances. He records the actual performances. Then he will again compare the actual performance with the standard one, and ultimately if suppose the things are not going in a right direction, he will take the corrective action. So this can be done when you evaluate the sales for performances. Again, I will tell that the selling, doing considering the evaluation of Salesforce performances, we often leads to the next step, which is decide the compensation of sales force. It is very important and very important factor of motivation for the sales force. So until this lecture we have seen the various sales management aspect, wherein we have seen the recruitment, selection, training, motivation, then we have seen the performances evaluation. The last part of that this sales management unit is compensation of sales force, which we are going to discuss in the next lecture. Until then, stay tuned and please subscribe to the channel of GS College of Commerce for the e-learning. Thank you so much.